By a show of hands, how many of you have set a goal for New Year's? Look around, that is easily the majority of us. I'm going to paint a picture for you. It is the first week of the new year. And things are going great, right? Your motivation's high, and you're really upholding your commitment to these goals. Now it's the second week, and it's going fine. I mean, your motivation may be a little lower, but you're doing it. Now it's the third week, and you're trying. Now it's the fourth week, and you're really just pulling at straws. And now it's February, and you are right back where you began, stuck in your old habits. If it sounds familiar, you are not alone. According to recent studies, 80% of people have already given up on their New Year's goals by the 23rd of January, and a shocking 95% have given up by the end of January. National Quitters Day is the day that the majority of people have already given up on their New Year's goals, and it occurs the second Friday of January. Throughout my life, have been told that goal setting is crucial to success in every area. In plenty of classes, I have set plenty of goals, and I can assure you with full confidence that not a single one of them actually got achieved, at least not intentionally. And I always wondered why I was different. I mean, it felt like everybody set goals. Athletes set goals, scholars set goals, so why didn't it work for me? I'm gonna tell so why didn't it work for me? Goal setting can have a lot of negative side effects, such as burnout when trying to achieve a goal and hedonic adaptation after achieving your goal. Issues like this make it difficult for people to work towards their goals, set them, and actually celebrate their accomplishments. Choosing instead to focus on the smaller habits that bring you closer to your goal is ultimately more effective than goal setting itself. I'm going to tell the co-op story of a British cycling team who went from the laughingstock of the biking world to one of the best teams. This team, in 76 years of racing, had only seen one single gold medal. They saw failure after failure after failure, until 2002, when Sir Dave Brailsford took over leadership of the group. Brailsford saw the potential of the group, but couldn't really figure out why they kept failing. He chose to look at every small component of riding a bike. So he looked at aerodynamics, training schedules, even the dust buildup on the bike's tires. He wanted everything to be perfect. In his own words, he wanted to adopt a philosophy of continuous improvement through the aggregation of marginal gains. After perfecting every small detail, the team was able to make a significant difference in their abilities, and since then have won several gold medals as well as several Tour de France championships. I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it stuck out to me. If you know me, you know that I love self-help books. I will read any one, even if I don't actually agree with what's being said. I'll read it and I'll enjoy it. In his book, he writes, "Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Your habits are the smaller steps taken to get to wherever you're going. Whether you realize it or not, your entire life is based off of your habits, your failures, your successes, and pretty much everything in between. Your negative habits, such as procrastination or partying, can lead to bad places, such as failing school or drug addiction. Whereas your positive habits, such as reading every day or walking, can lead to great places, such as having a higher IQ or living an extra 10 years. Your habits ultimately make a bigger difference. And it may be difficult to see at first how these small, tiny things can build up to be so much, but think about it this way. Say you have never run in your life at all, ever, and you decide you want to run a marathon in the next 6 months, right? Feels daunting, but it's exciting. I mean, you feel motivated and you really finally get to run. After a while, you're just gonna get burnt out. You're gonna get burnt out from overworking your body, and the feeling of failure from not succeeding at that goal and having to completely give up on it will take a hit. And that is assuming that you do give up on your goal before hospitalizing yourself. But what if instead you choose to form the habit of running every day, right? Just 5 minutes, nothing crazy. You just run every day for 5 minutes. You're still going to improve your ability to run without all the negativity and the failure, and you're also going to be able to run that marathon. It may not be in 6 months, but you won't have to sit there stressing about the fact that you're not going to reach that deadline. I knew that I had to start waking up earlier for school days. For reference, I set an alarm at 6, another at 6:15, another at 6:30, and then for the next 15 minutes, I would scroll on TikTok and Instagram. Then for the next 5 minutes after that, I would contemplate texting my parents, telling them that I was not going to school and they had to find a ride for my brother. It was not ideal. I would rush getting ready. I didn't like how I looked, how I felt, my outfits, hair, makeup, none of it worked. I felt so unmotivated. I hated school, my grades were dropping, and I had a lot of absences. After reading Atomic Habits, I decided to think about my ultimate goal. It was 5:30 in the morning wake-up time. I started out just setting my alarm for 5:30, right? That's it. My phone was still above my bed. I went to bed whenever I could. So how come when that 5:30 alarm rang, I didn't wake up? Why was my willpower just not enough? I knew that I had my goal of 5:30 wake-up time. That was perfect. So what else could I do? I decided to focus on the smaller steps that make my morning and night routine. I focused on where my alarm was put, I focused on my sleep schedule, and this is what I came up with. The first habit that I integrated was I have screen time alerts on my phone. So after 9 o'clock, I do not have access to any app other than Snapchat. Literally nothing. And Snapchat doesn't really distract me, so that's the only one that I have. In addition, every Sunday night, including last night, I delete TikTok. It just clears my mind a lot more. TikTok has taken so much of my emotional capacity, so I delete it every single week. The first time is the hardest, but all the times after that are nothing. The next habit is I sleep with my phone in my bathroom. That avoids scrolling at night for hours and hours because I just have to put it away and go lay in my bed. Now, my iPad is in my room with my alarm, and it's also placed all the way across the room from me. So in the mornings, I have to get up and physically walk to my alarm to turn it off. That way, I'm already out of bed. The first few steps of my morning routine are also laid out right on top of my phone, so that in order to go on my phone, I have to move and touch the things that I need to do. So it's pretty convenient. I can just do the first few steps. That way I can't even skip myself out. And the last one is I make my bed as soon as possible. Now, I love my mornings. I genuinely, on weekends, wake up wishing that I was sitting there in front of my computer watching YouTube and doing my makeup for school. I no longer stress about getting to school on time or looking good or anything like that because it automatically happens. I'm ready by 6:30 every day, and then I get half an hour to do whatever I want. My room's cleaner, my grades are better, and my attendance is perfect. Today, we all got surprised by having to go to the turf in the morning to take pictures. I didn't have to wake up any earlier than any other day because I already do. Hedonic adaptation is when your body returns to your baseline happiness after a high period. So that can be shopping, goal setting, something like that. You're going to experience emotions like pride, joy, and excitement, but then very soon after this, it's just kind of going to go back to normal. Have you ever bought a shirt that you were really excited about at first, and you wear it once, and it's yay, and then it's just like every other shirt in your closet. It's just another shirt. What's the point in working for days, weeks, months, even years to achieve a goal if you're only going to return to your baseline so soon after that? It's completely futile. Harsh goal setting does not allow for redirection of any sort. You are stuck on that goal and that goal's deadline specifically. There is nothing else. You can't see any of the other possibilities. If you've ever wanted something so bad at one point in your life, you've ended up getting something else and that other thing ends up being better, you can't exactly experience that with harsh goal setting because you're not even aware of the other things that you could be receiving because all you can see is this one goal that oftentimes is hard to achieve. And if you realize that you can't reach a goal and you have to give up on that goal, you feel like you failed. That's it. There's no way to work yourself around that. If you have to give up on a goal, even if you're changing the goal in a little way, it feels like you're giving up on something. Whereas if you're just changing your habits, it only feels like growth because you're replacing a small positive habit with another small positive habit that just works better for you. The solution. So I'm not here to say that goals are all bad. If it works for you, then it works for you. That's fine. Keep doing it. But for people like me who have always struggled with it and have always felt kind of behind because everybody else was checking off their goals and I never really was, the best way to go about it is to do this. You can start by having a goal. And think of anything. It doesn't have to be like a set goal. Think of anything, something that you want to achieve. Then you're going to figure out the smaller details. So for example, my sleeping goal. I wanted to wake up at 5:30. What goes into waking up early? Your alarm, your sleep schedule, every single tiny detail you can think of. Make sure that every single one of these details is perfect. Make sure that if you have a goal of getting perfect grades, every single thing, your desk, the time you wake up, the time you go to bed, everything is perfect. Then implement it. Make sure that you are actually following through with all of these habits that you are saying you're going to do. And then there you go. This will bring you above and beyond your goal, better than actual goal setting will, where you just kind of have a stopping point. Remember that small steps always equal big results. If there's one thing that I want you guys to remember from this talk, it's this. This came from a fortune cookie that I have in my phone case. I got it at dinner with my boyfriend's family, and nobody really understood why I was so excited about it. It reads, "Doing little things well is a step towards doing big things better." If you can't show up for yourself by doing the big thing, at least do the 20-second little thing, because ultimately, that's 100 times better than doing nothing. Thank you.